Massive news. Two of the biggest names in electronics, Sony and Dell, well, they're about to bring billions of dollars into Bitcoin. You heard that right. Now buckle up and stay until the finish because we got some massively bullish news to get to. Oh, and what's that? Can you smell what Jerome is cooking? It doesn't matter who the president is. The money printer is coming. Satoshi already won the presidency, guys. Send it.
There's several things I do know. They have to print more money or else the system will collapse. And then I strongly believe that they will print more money because as bad as inflation is, it's viewed as a lesser evil than having the system collapse. I mean, a perfect example is in 2008, Henry Paulson went to Nancy Pelosi and said, you got to give us TARP or else the ATMs aren't going to work. Look, in 1913, when they set up the Fed, they basically created a system of heads we win, tails you lose, because they get to gamble with the people's money and they get to take a ton of risk. And all these guys in 2008 made a ton of money. And then when they were wrong, they got bailed out. If it was capitalism, they all should have failed. And they are criminals. I mean, 2008 was just an enormous crime. And they're going to do that again.
Hey, as usual, Lawrence Lepard laying it down. Welcome back to the most bullish Bitcoin news show on the planet. I'm your chief propagandist, Rustin. And Larry is absolutely right. The fiat system, it's on life support. The money printers are working overtime like a broke college kid's microwave. But you know who's not playing the fiat game anymore? Well, Sony and Dell. First up, Sony. This $103 billion behemoth is launching its own Bitcoin and crypto exchange in Japan. Now let's put it in perspective. They've got $15 billion in cash. They generate $5 billion in free cash flow every year. That is a lot of dry powder for Bitcoin. And Sony's new exchange S-Blocks is set to shake up the market. Just imagine you're playing your PS5, earning Bitcoin, trading it on the Sony platform. It's like the future just got a cheat code. And they're not alone. Dell is in the game too. Michael Dell himself posted this poll asking, what's the most important thing right now? And guess what made the list? That's right. Bitcoin. Guess what beat love and relationships? Bitcoin.
Dude, you're getting it.
Bitcoin.
Easy to buy, easy to own.
Easy as Bitcoin.
Looks like the tech giants finally got the memo. Fiat is old news. Bitcoin is the future. Can Dell stack more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor? Well, they sure have the resources to, give it the old college try. But wait, there's more. Remember when the US government sold 30,000 Bitcoin to some guy for $600 a piece? Well, that $18 million is now worth $1.8 billion. I bet the government wishes they would have hodled. But no, they haven't learned anything. They continue to choose poor, and it's incredible because when the government sells Bitcoin, they're literally separating the money from state. Good job, guys. And while we're on the topic of big guys, let's talk about this mysterious whale that just scooped up like 8,000 Bitcoin worth $475 million on Binance. Someone's making power moves in the Bitcoin ocean. And it's not just the big corporations and mysterious whales, even in the Middle East. A 90-year-old Saudi cleric wrote a fatwa deeming Bitcoin acceptable under Islam. Now that's a blessing. And Bolivia's central bank has lifted a decade-long ban on Bitcoin, allowing banks to transact with Bitcoin. It's like Bitcoin is uniting the world, one central bank at a time. The fuck? And we can't forget about Japan's own meta planet, the MicroStrategy of Japan, going on a Bitcoin shopping spree, stacking up like there's no tomorrow. 20.195 Bitcoins bought, adding to their hoard of over 161 Bitcoin. That's some serious conviction. Bitcoin isn't just a currency, it's a movement. It's a human right issue. It's a hedge against inflation, a beacon of financial freedom. As Len Alden puts it, constant inflation is a human rights issue. Well, it's a human rights violation, but it prevents people from building up liquid capital reliably.
We have extremely poor countries who are extremely poor because of the decisions made by the people who run that country.
Yeah, by controlling money, those decisions can be so ubiquitous that they can affect everyone. And so, like, we're here at the HODLers Freedom Forum, and when they talk about Bitcoin, it's often focused on the censorship-resistant aspect. But you can argue that constant inflation is also a human right issue. It basically prevents people from building up liquid capital reliably. It either forces them to monetize illiquid things like real estate, or just keeps rug pulling them year after year after year, and they're never able to build any sort of, serious capital and kind of better themselves.
Now let's hear from B for BTC on how Bitcoin is a human right and will help us regain value and dignity.
I strongly recommend people, study Bitcoin more. Bitcoin is your one and only chance to regain any form of value and dignity that you have. If you have a family, if you have kids that you want to care for, and you want them to live in a world where they're free to make their own decisions, decisions and not have them, dictated by somebody else. You owe it to them to at least take the time and study Bitcoin and not look at it strictly from an investment point of view. Bitcoin fundamentally is a human right. The right to transact, the right to dictate where you want to put your time and energy is your decision. And I strongly encourage more and more people to put their time and energy into Bitcoin. And I find that the more people understand it more, their allocation into Bitcoin grows automatically all by itself. And so where you can always support someone that accepts Bitcoin, you should do it. I encourage people to spend and replace to accept Bitcoin a lot more so that it becomes, normalized in everyday world. When regular folks walk into a store, it'd be nice for them to see cash, credit cards, Bitcoin, cash, credit cards, Bitcoin. So that subconsciously, it's registered that this is money and not just something that you buy and, you wait for it to go up. Because if that's all you're doing, you're missing the whole point behind something as, revolutionary as Bitcoin.
I think Preston Pish had it right when he told Wall Street, well, Bitcoin isn't going to zero. It's going to take over.
If somebody from Wall Street's listening to this, this is what I want you to take home. If your basis is $5 or your basis is 30 cents, do you think that person cares whether it goes from 26,000 to 10,000? Nope. Guess what? Those are the people that hold a lion's share of the Bitcoin in the world. Just think about that next time you call it it's going to zero or that it's going to die. Like, we're all just sitting back here laughing at you. Sir, we're laughing at you. We think you're an idiot. We don't think that you understand how this actually works. This is a takeover, and we're sucking all the monetary energy out of the global economy, and we're stuffing it into Bitcoin, and we're going to recap all the equity. So congratulations, you played yourself. We're here, we're taking over, and we're doing it with a smile, and we're trying to be kind, we're trying to educate people.
What are you waiting for? Join the revolution, embrace the freedom. Let's ride to the moon together. Sony, Dell, Whales, Clerics, Fatwas. Fun one! And apparently Larry David. They're all seeing the light, and it's time you do too. Remember, Bitcoin is an open international conspiracy to make you free and rich. And the only thing you can do about it is join early or join late. Don't be a victim. Be a victor. Thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button, subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Give us a pamp. And reminder, drunk, fat, stupid, poor ain't no way to go through life. Maximize yourself. Maximize your unconfiscatable wealth. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.